So if you sign up for one of these shows, then you need to know what you're walking into. You know what I'm pissed off about? Stop with this beauty at all sides sympathy bullshit. Stop this. Fuck, I don't give a shit if you fat get pissed off at this. Fuck you. A show that my wife sometimes makes me watch clips from. I don't watch it. We don't watch the actual show, but she'll watch clips from it. You know, YouTube videos that show clips from it or like scenes from it. It's called My 600 Pound Life. And, you know, the whole point in TLC, which, fun fact, TLC stands for The Learning Channel. And there has not been any learning going on that channel for some time. It is just reality slop television at this point. Where the whole point of most of the shows on TLC is to point and laugh at the freak. So, like, there's the 600 Pound Life one. There's 90 Day Fiance, where we're all laughing at the incels, the rich incels. There's the one about midgets. Yeah, like, it's just point and laugh at the freak. It's digital freak shows. But apparently something got exposed on My 600 Pound Life. And, Internet Anarchist, who is one of my favorite YouTube channels. You guys should subscribe to him if you haven't already. But he put out a new video about 5 hours ago. Everything wrong with My 600 Pound Life. So we're going to find out, like, what's wrong with it. Was it, like, is he going to talk production problems, or is the show fake? Which I have a feeling most of those shows on TLC are fake. But we'll see if they have any evidence to back up it being fake or something like that. All right, let's fucking go.
My 600 Pound Life has everything a reality TV show needs to be entertaining, from gut-wrenching emotional meltdowns.
Oh, you're costing me my weight loss surgery and you're ruining everything!
To brutal reality.
Wait, didn't Boogie 2988 do this? I don't think he did this show. I think he did the British version of this show before his surgery for weight loss, which he lost weight after the surgery and then immediately gained it all back. And now he's back to eating McDonald's and being a fat loser fuck on the internet again. Which I think I had a video on Boogie 2988 I was going to watch about the downfall of Boogie. Damn it, I had one that went over a bunch of influencers, but basically it had Boogie 2988 as a failure and how far he's fallen. And I'm like, actually, he's on the up right now. The Locale Live stuff is super popular. This is probably the most money he's made in a very long time. So I'm not hating Boogie 2988. Like I actually enjoy some of the Locale stuff too. Even if I think a lot of it's scripted at this point, I feel like it's like Locale Live is like the internet's version of WWE at this point, where we all know it's scripted and fake, but we still watch it anyway. We still get into it. Oh boy, I'm using the wrong gun. Yep. Oh my god. The Lancer is, as I remembered it, a fucking pea shooter that does no damage. Holy shit. The chicken, sounds about right. Someone to that level of emotional maturity would end up being a fat piece of shit. The chick in the clip. Spoons made me fat, kind of angry. Yeah, it's not my fault. It's the restaurant's fault. Which I would argue should be a thing. I feel like restaurants already like have a rule where they'll cut you off if you drink too much. I feel like they should have I got stuck on the pillar. I feel like they should have the same thing for if you're eating too much. Like if they feel that you're eating to a point where it's becoming a danger to your health, you might have a stroke or a heart attack or something, possibly even in their restaurant, then they should be able to pass that little card to you that says you've been cut off. Please leave quietly, and we won't tell anybody you've been cut off. You know, we won't bring attention to it, kind of thing. Yeah, I feel like they should do that for fat people too, but America just encourages obesity. Anyway, sorry, a little tangent there because this made me think of Boogie when she mentioned the surgery.
Reality checks.
Steven, you're not going to be alive much longer the way you live. You want us to write you off as hopeless? Then we will. There is no hope for you.
But what truly keeps viewers coming...
I want them to get like I know it's a TV show and he's probably a real doctor, but get a fake doctor. Just get a fake doctor. Get a fucking dude with an American accent. Or even a British guy. Get a Gordon Ramsay kind of doctor to just call these fat people fat, because the purpose in a character like that on a reality TV show, the reason why Gordon Ramsay is so over the top, because that's not the way he is in his actual business. He's playing that shit up for the camera, and the purpose of that is he's supposed to be saying, he's the voice of the audience. He's saying what we're all thinking, and it's supposed to feel good to see someone hear that. All those mean things you want to say that you don't in real life because you don't want to get in a fight or you don't want to lose your job. It's supposed to be therapeutic to watch that and see someone doing that and saying out loud the thing that everyone's thinking. So you can go, yes, finally. Yeah, it's supposed to feel like that. This is American, man. We have a heart attack grill in Vegas. Yeah, I know. They encourage it. They meme about it. That doctor looks like if Andy Milonakis didn't have the Benjamin Button syndrome. It's just, I feel like a lot of the mean shit he says, because that's supposed to be his role in the show. He's supposed to be like their Gordon Ramsay. And he goes and he says the mean thing, but he tries to, but he's accurate in what he's saying, and he's doing it out of concern. But he usually he's supposed to be the I'm going to give it to you straight kind of guy. The problem is I feel like a lot of what he says doesn't carry that weight to it because it gets lost in the accent. No, this is mine. This is mine. And I missed. Awesome.
Back are the powerful stories of perseverance and transformation. Seeing the cast in the show struggle against insurmountable odds, not just for themselves, but for the people they love, is nothing short of inspiring.
So you lost almost 20.
That's the double-edged way that this show and shows like this are supposed to work, where they're point and laugh at the freak kind of thing and watch them get told about themselves, because that's what a lot of us want to do. We want to tell them about themselves. So it's therapeutic for those of us who aren't fat, and it's supposed to be inspirational for those that are. So that's kind of the point. And that chick is so fat that her forehead had a belly. Yeah, she's definitely a front butt kind of chick.
50 pounds. Well, how's your life changed since you started the program?
I mean, I can do so much. Just getting out, doing things, not having to depend on people, just, take care of myself.
Unfortunately, while the show's premise of helping morbidly obese people lose their weight is great on paper, its execution is far from perfect. Behind the triumphant on-screen moments lies a tangled web of emotional manipulation, neglected mental health, and alleged mistreatment, all of which get—
I mean, he's a doctor, not a psychiatrist. He's not there to care about their mental health. He's there to care about their physical health. He's a physical doctor. So he's probably not going to sugarcoat it. I'd argue that's the point of the show, is that he's not going to sugarcoat it for you and tell you what you want to hear. He's going to just give it to you straight. That's the entire point. But some people can't handle that. Oh, fuck. God damn. Why does my Lancer not down like that? Oh, man, I am so out of practice in this. But, yeah, he's not there to worry about your mental health. He's there to give it to you straight. And some people can't handle that kind of dose of reality. They need it, but it takes— some people have trouble processing it.
Gets buried beneath the dramatic edits and the uplifting music. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we're diving into everything wrong with TLC's My 600 Pound Life. How a show meant to change lives for the better has allegedly left many worse off, and at least in one tragic case, pushed someone past the point of no return. For those who haven't seen My 600 Pound Life before—
These folks out here built like a wad of chewed up bubble gum. When you were crouched behind cover, I swear it looked like you were playing as Harambe. Oh, I can't read today. Yeah, well, that's Locust for you. Gears of War art style. I think they made the Locusts look better in later games. They just kind of look like cave trolls in this one. Just kind of look like hairless apes.
It's a reality TV show that aired its first episode in 2012. It's about bringing on extremely obese people, often weighing way over 600 pounds, and providing them with the resources they need to lose the excess weight, including medical supervision, strict dietary plans, and even weight loss surgery. And while many of the show's participants regain the weight after their appearance,
It is a little over 4 months since your weight loss surgery, and you already started gaining.
Yeah, see, it's hard to follow what he's saying. Like, the accent is so thick. I feel like a lot of the people he's talking to aren't getting the message of what he's saying. Like, it just doesn't hit. Like, it's a TV show. If he's a real doctor, fine, let him be the one to examine him, but hire an actor to come in and deliver the news, so that I feel like a lot of these fat people just don't get the fucking message. Because when he's there saying mean shit, but he's doing an accent, that you understand his accent, and you need to, like they hear what he's saying, but they're not getting the message.
Again. So obviously, that's a very bad situation we have with you.
There are also a number of people who managed to keep the weight off and turn around their lives for good. Unfortunately, for every person this show helped, there are others who came out with extremely troubling allegations against its producers, like Gina Krasley, who claimed that the show's producers encouraged her to eat more, also they could add more drama to her episodes. If true, this allegation implied that the show wasn't just documenting the participants' struggles, it was actively creating it, something that only undermines their recovery, but
If you got proof of that, then it could get them into legal trouble.
also calls the entire premise of the show into question. But this is only the tip of the iceberg, because when encouraging more eating doesn't provide the spectacle they were looking for, the producers resort to deceptive editing to fit the narrative they had in mind. Or at least, that's what happens according to Marla McCants, who did have a successful weight loss journey, but isn't very fond of the show that helped her along the way. One of her scenes showed her in a hospital bed, refusing to get up even a year after her surgery.
Regarding one particular scene where McCants refused to stand up, she revealed that the show warped the timeline, making it seem as if this scene occurred much longer after the surgery.
This made
That I already expected. There to be some editing tricks needed to add drama. So you change the dates on shit, or you make it look as if you place scenes out of order, so it looks as if that they were, there when they weren't there longer than they were supposed to be. I can't kill anyone in this game. Oh my god.
her look like she was just being lazy and stubborn for no reason, when, according to an interview she did later, this couldn't have been further from the truth, with her stating, like, the scene where I was in the hospital and I wouldn't get up. Y'all don't know why I didn't get up. First of all, they put it out there a year ahead, when actually it was only 1 month after I had the gastric bypass. I had lost 70 pounds the first month.
So do the power weapons just not respawn in the original game? I thought I remembered them respawning. That one's on my team. It's another quality of life thing they added to later games, is letting you know where your teammates always had that thing above their heads, so you don't waste your time shooting at your teammates, which is what I just did. I think I'm doing it again. I am doing it again. Oh my god. Yeah, it's hard to differentiate between the two at a distance. Anyway, yeah, I feel like the editing tricks are expected. I mean, it is a reality show, and isn't the whole purpose of the show, like, the reason people go on the show, as opposed to just doing it themselves, is, one, they can't afford to do it themselves, or they lack the motivation. So that's kind of the point, is that you go on the show because you'll have a whole team of people and personal trainers to guide you through it. And two, the show pays for everything, if I'm not mistaken. Like, that's one of the show's expenses, the cost of doing business, is they actually pay for the medical treatments for these people. So if you're that level of fat and you can't afford the bypass surgery, and you can't afford to your insurance won't cover it, and you can't afford to get this stuff, you're feeling trapped, you can go and kind of embarrass yourself on television, but in return, you're getting the help that you need. So I feel like they shouldn't be angry at the fact that they're getting embarrassed. That's kind of the point of the show. Like, this is the price you pay for free healthcare in America, sadly. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a nothing burger and thing that's expected, but I understand why they're mad.
I had my surgery February 13th of 2015. That episode aired March of 2015. So I had just lost 70 pounds, I was malnourished, I was in the hospital, and he wanted me to get up? Seriously? I'm bleeding on the bed and you want me to get up? Now, reality TV shows tweaking timelines or rearranging scenes for dramatic effect isn't exactly breaking news. But in Marla's case, it wasn't just misleading, it painted a false picture of her behavior and undermined her commitment to turning her life around. And unfortunately, it wasn't just Marla who walked away from the show feeling mistreated. Season 7 participant Jeannie Covey accused the showrunners of forcing her to film while she was suffering from emotional turmoil. You see, Jeannie had to travel to Texas with her mother for the show, leaving her father back home. But about 6 months into the filming process, she noticed that she hadn't heard from him in several days. So she contacted the authorities to request a wellness check, only to be met with devastating news that her father had passed away. The show then showed her returning home and abandoning the weight loss program Dr. Now, the show's host, had designed for her. She later claimed that she and her mother were grieving the loss of her father and asked the producers to stop filming. However, instead of agreeing to her request, the showrunners threatened them with a lawsuit, essentially forcing them to continue filming without caring about her mental health. Which brings us to one of the most frequent criticisms from former participants: the show's lack of adequate mental health support. In most cases, food addiction is as much of a mental struggle as it is a physical one. However, according to these participants, the showrunners focused heavily on the physical aspects of weight loss, while neglecting the crucial mental health care they needed to break the addiction. One of the
Yeah, I feel like that's the purpose of the show, though. They're not going to mental health doctors. You could probably include that. I'd argue they probably should make that part of the treatment. But I would need to see the paperwork like these people signed before they went on to the show, because a lot of them probably should have known what they were walking into. Like, you should have been able to look at the amount of coverage, the amount of treatment that you're getting in exchange for doing the show to know what to expect. And if the show doesn't have mental health coverage listed as the thing that you're getting, then it's a little ridiculous to expect that mental health coverage, in my opinion. But I feel like they ignore the paperwork on purpose.
These participants is Alicia Kurgan, who alleged that when she brought up her declining mental health to the producers, including depression and anxiety, they did not provide any counseling. All she received was a single on-camera therapy session that was completely scripted. But that's not all, because she also accused the showrunners of faking her mental health evaluation before the surgery, claiming that she was given a quote 5-question mental health survey a couple hours before her procedure that asked questions with true or false answers. If she answered one of the questions incorrectly, the producers would take the form away and give her another until she answered all the questions quote correctly. And while Alicia was still able to lose her excess weight and change her life for the better, this alleged lack of mental health facilities could explain why so many of the participants regained their weight after ending the show, since
Well, that's a serious claim. If you're claiming that they did offer mental health, but the stuff they offered was completely fucking fabricated, not real, then that's a different, yeah, now we're in a different ballpark, where you're not giving them, you're giving them mental health evaluations you downloaded from Google and then making them retake them until you get the answers that you want. Which I'm not shocked. Like, a lot of these reality shows will manipulate shit in order to push the drama part of it. Because ultimately they are drama shows as much as they're reality shows. The drama is a big part of it. So I'm not shocked. Abuse with these shows isn't exactly uncommon, but that's fucking dirty, man. Terry Tate, Office Linebacker, was a series of short comedy television commercials created by Peter Arnold and the Arnold Group for Reebok. I remembered it all correctly. It was Reebok. Based on a short film created in 2000 by Marshall Thun. That's the dude who wrote and directed Dodgeball. That explains a lot. And yeah, Terry Tate, Office Linebacker, was the inspiration for the creation of Coltrane in the video game we're playing. It is also the same actor that is voicing him in this game, as well as the model being based on the actual person. Because yes, that dude is really that big. He's awesome. I don't know whatever happened to that actor like after those commercials other than Gears of War. I don't think I ever saw him in anything else. And I feel like I should have. I felt like the actor who played, Coltrane and Terry Tate, I felt like he was kind of a different version of like Terry Crews. Terry Tate was like a fictional guy, but the guy who played him was a lot like Terry Crews, just a big, goofy, like a big scary looking but ultimately lovable, you know, personality wise black dude. He's just big and scary looking, but then he's funny and he's charismatic and stuff. So you're like, oh, he's big and looks intimidating until he starts to talk and you're like, oh, he's like a teddy bear. Yeah, I feel like that, like this guy had that appeal, and it just never kind of, oh, let me exit this 'cause I think Fox was trying to play with me. But I feel like that guy had that appeal, and I thought I'd see him in more stuff. Like I kind of thought those commercials would be his claim to fame, and then he'd have a acting career after that. But then he didn't. So I have no idea what happened to that guy. Lester Spite is 61 years old now and used to be a professional football player. Oh, so he was actually a football player. Well, that explains the size. Yeah, but I feel like he had good acting chops too. Like after seeing him in those in the commercials, I was like, this dude could act. Like you could put him in shit. I'm kind of shocked that I never saw him in anything.
Without Dr. Now's stern meal plans, there was nothing that motivated them to continue their weight
Also, the doctor's chin looks like a front butt too.
loss journey. Unfortunately, regaining weight pales in comparison to the toll these mental health struggles allegedly took on James Bonner. James appeared in the 6th season of the show, and was doing quite significantly better than most other contestants.
Today I'm gonna see where my progress is at, and if I hit my weight loss goals to get me below 392.
You know what I'm pissed off about? Do you know what I'm fucking pissed off about? Why is there no show for the fucking opposite? Why aren't we helping like anorexic people gain weight? Do you realize? And fuck, I don't give a shit if you fat fucks get pissed off at this. Fuck you. I am so pissed off at the fact that like people who are small and have trouble gaining weight just get completely fucking dismissed. I have fucking wrestled with this shit my entire fucking life, and every time I complain about it, everyone's like, "Oh, you just don't know how lucky you are." Blah, blah. I'm like, "Oh my god, fuck off." Do you know how hard it is to gain weight for someone like me? It's almost impossible. Like, there is no fucking trick for me to do in order to gain weight. I have tried everything. I take the fucking weight gainer shakes. All they do is give me mud butt. Literally, my body just, like, refuses to store fat. Every time I eat, like, I use the energy, and then an hour later, any of the excess just gets pooped the fuck out. Like, my body just refuses to keep it. If I eat too much, then I just get diarrhea. Like, my body's just like, too much food, must get rid of it. It doesn't store it. It refuses to. I've been to doctors about it. They can't figure it the fuck out. They've given me shit. It won't help. There's 100 fucking different pills and Ozempic shots and bullshit to help you lose weight, and there's nothing to help you gain. It's like they don't give a fuck about skinny people. It's ridiculous. And anytime we complain, we're just told that we're lucky. Fuck you. Do you know how easy it is to lose weight? I'll tell you. It's as easy as putting less in here than comes out of here. I don't have that option. Okay, sorry, rant over. God damn it. It's just frustrating, man. I'm still struggling with it to this fucking day. In fact, I'll just tell something embarrassing about myself that happened 2 fucking days ago, because I'm now more motivated than ever to gain weight again. I had given up on it for a while. I'm older now. I got kids that are 10 and 11 years old. And, oh shit, watch out. And they had field day at school 2 days ago. And I volunteered. Me and the wife both volunteered to go out there and do field day. It's 2 hours long. We stand out in the field, and they set up little games for the kids to play, little activities, which I think I still have. Yeah, I still got mine. They give you a little card with what you're doing. You go stand at your station. I was statue stacking, and then they give you the instructions for statue stacking on the back. No, my lights are bright in here. Which is basically one of the kids will stand up like a statue, and then the other kids have to try to put bean bags on the other kid and see how many bean bags they can put on the kid before the time limit is up. And if a bean bag falls off the statue, they can't pick it back up. Yeah, and then that's how they play the game. Anyway, I'm standing out in this field doing that, and they had the kids in little groups for all the different grades, so they're rotating through. And it is like 95 degrees out there, and the state I live in is humid as fuck. Anyway, so I'm standing out there, and it's like 95 degrees. It's humid as fuck, and I get part of it's probably my fault. I had not eaten anything all day. By the time we got out there, I spent the first half of the day at work. I took off work that day. I spent the first half of the day editing videos, and so I'd been up since like 6 a.m. I'd been editing videos. I was only working on a few hours of sleep because I streamed the night before. So I got up earlier than I usually do. Damn it. Takes too long for the animation to switch guns. So I was working on not a lot of sleep. I hadn't had anything to eat all day, and I forgot to bring a water bottle with me. So I'm standing out there in the heat helping these kids, and we got to about the last 10 minutes left, and I started it just like hit me all at once. I don't really sweat because I'm a really small guy. So I just don't sweat, but I could feel myself getting hot. And where we were at, there was no shade. So we're just kind of standing out in the middle of the field, and then there's other stations. Like the one my wife was at, because they didn't even put us together. She volunteered too. She was in the shade off to like the side of the track, which I gave her that spot because she's got sickle cell and issues with her health to begin with. So it's probably good that she wasn't the one standing in the fucking heat. But I used to be able to handle that shit. Like, I used to be able to handle it because I don't sweat. And the heat is like the one thing I could handle. We got to there being 10 minutes left, and it all hit me at once. I started losing my vision, and my limbs started going numb. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm dehydrated. I need to, I start walking towards where my wife is at because she brought a water bottle and I didn't. So I started walking towards where she was at, which must have been about 10, 15 yards away. I barely made it to where she's at. By the time I got about halfway there, my vision had completely gone. I was blind and starting to panic a little bit. So I just kind of followed the sound of her voice. I got to where she was. I grabbed her. I was like, I can't see. And my fucking limbs are numb. And she's like, hands me her water bottle. And they said I passed out. But I don't remember passing out. I remember trying to sit on the ground to just rest for a minute. But they said I completely fell down and passed out, like just lost consciousness. And that I hit my head because I hit the ground. I don't remember hitting my head. I don't remember any of that. They said I woke up a few minutes. When I woke up a few minutes later, there were people standing all around me. I remember like wanting to lay down and rest. And I don't remember I thought I remember making it to the ground and laying down, but apparently I just fell. And when I woke up, there were people standing all around me, and they're trying to make sure I didn't have a heat stroke. And after I drank some water, like 10 minutes later, I was completely fucking fine. I was just dehydrated. And the point is, I've never dehydrated like that before. Like, not that bad. I've dehydrated a little bit, but never that bad. I used to stay outside in that weather all day long. Like, the hot weather was the place where I thrived. I don't sweat, but I always had water with me. But I've been dehydrated a little bit before, and I usually, I can tell. It just sucks. Being this small sucks. There's health issues with being this small for shit like that. Like, my body doesn't keep the reserves it needs to get me through shit like that. I have to constantly be putting fuel in because my body is refusing to store fat and store fuel for things like that. And there are no shows for people like me. There are no pills for people like me. There are no shots for people like me. There is fucking nothing but un-FDA approved GNC fucking supplement bullshit that 90% of it doesn't work. I've been struggling with this since high school. I take the weight gainer shakes. I take the protein shakes. I tried the creatine. I was in the fucking the after school weightlifting club that usually is only for the football players and the sports teams, but I signed up for it and I went and I didn't play a single fucking sport because I was determined to gain weight. And I hit a point where I just physically can't get any bigger. I had reached the maximum that my muscles could produce. And the coach would tell me, well, you got to gain weight to convert that fat into muscle. You can't get any stronger until you get bigger. And then I go see a doctor and he's like, I don't know, man. It's sounds like you got a fast metabolism. I was like, is there anything we can do for it? He's like, not really. Yeah, because they don't make stuff to slow your metabolism down. You tried giving me some stuff. didn't really help. I might gain a pound or two. It might help a little bit, but my body's just refusing to store the fat. Like, it's not a metabolism problem. It's my body's just not doing the thing it's supposed to be doing. And doctors are like, we haven't really invented a thing to make your body store fat. We can help you lose it, but we haven't invented a thing to make you store it. And I'm like, oh, cool. So they just don't give a fuck about skinny people. This is why you get those like anorexic people like Eugenia Cooney, and everybody's like, she needs to get help. I'm like, she probably tried. There is no help. That's the problem. There's no fucking help for people like her. There is none. If your body just refuses to store fat, then you're fucked. They don't make pills for you. They don't do shit for you. There's nothing for you. And it's fucking, it's the most frustrating shit in the world. And telling people about it, and they don't give a fuck. How did he not die? Okay. Anyway.
I'm happy with that.
In total, he lost over 316 pounds in just 12 months, and was on track to lose even more.
And I'm hoping I can do something today I haven't done in around 15 years. I'm hoping I'll be able to start running. And if I can, that'll mean I can get even more active. And hopefully make...
Yeah, and they don't understand, like, you hear this guy complaining about, like, not being able to run and do normal things. And they're like, well, you can still do all the normal things at your size. You're probably really nimble. And true, I am. I'm small, I'm fast, I'm nimble, and flexible. But they don't think about, like, the normal everyday shit that they can do that I can't. Like, this is just exposed bone, basically. Every joint in my body is like this, where it's just exposed fucking bone. Like, the bones are protruding through my fucking skin because I'm skinny. If I bump into shit, it's the equivalent of you hitting your bone directly against something. There is zero padding here. Nothing. It's just me directly hitting my bone against a structure. It sucks. Simple shit that most people would shake off is super fucking painful for me. And I feel like I've been hit directly on my bone. Because I have. And it takes longer to heal and it bruises harder. But they don't think about that shit. They don't care about that shit. So no, I have no sympathy for fat people. Because you have all the help in the world and you're just not getting it. I don't have the options. I'm super skinny too. And can't gain weight. That's why I'm just agreeing, but it's never been a big problem. Well, you convince yourself it's not a big problem and you like learn to live with it because you don't have a fucking choice. I don't have a fucking choice. It is a big problem for me. I just ignore it and I deal with it because what else am I supposed to fucking do? It is a big problem. It's especially a big problem if you're a dude. If you're a dude and you're this small, You're like, everyone is a threat to you. You're a threat to nobody. You're the kid that gets picked. I was 97 pounds in high school. Like, all the way up to senior year. I was the smallest kid in the class, always. That includes the girls. I was just that small. That means I got picked on by fucking everybody. And if I try to act tough, no one is taking me seriously. I had a fat friend named Big Mike. He was like 350. And he was a big dude. He'd never been in a fight a day in his fucking life. Because all he had to do, anytime someone talked shit or things got real, was all he had to do was stand up and puff his chest out, and people would just back down from him because he looks big and scary. He doesn't know how to fight. He's never been in a fight a day in his life. He can't run. He's slow as shit. You could probably kick his ass. But because he looked scary, people left him alone. If I act tough and I do that and I stand up and puff my chest out, I got to be ready to fight. Like, I got to be ready to throw down because I'm just going to get laughed at. Like, no one is taking that as intimidation. No one is taking that as a threat. It's just, if I step up to the plate, I got to be ready to swing. It's just, it sucks, man. It fucking sucks. And it is a problem. And I wanted to gain weight, if for no other reason than that, because everyone's like, thank you for the follow there, West End. Everyone is like, oh, you just want to be bigger so you can be tough and you can beat people up. No, I want to be bigger so I don't have to be tough and beat people up. I wanted to be able to do what Big Mike did and just look scary and be left the fuck alone. I am tired of fighting. I am tired of having to struggle. I just want to be able to, like, not have to try to talk my way out of shit and just be able to stand up, call someone's bluff, and have them leave me the fuck alone. That's all I want to be able to do. Jesus fucking Christ. That's why I'm just agreeing, but it's never been a big problem. How's it going? Can't play the beta with the basic Game Pass on Xbox? I have no idea. I have Game Pass Ultimate. If this game is included in whatever tier of Game Pass you have, then yeah, you would be able to play it. But I don't know. You have to read the terms. I got them posted in the Discord. I can look it up after this match to see if you have to have Ultimate. Which, if you don't have Game Pass Ultimate, why don't you have Game Pass Ultimate? You should. No. No. Launch that torque bow, damn it. Jesus.
Progress even faster.
However, his incredible weight loss journey was tragically cut short on August the 2nd, 2018, when he decided to game over himself. His passing came as a complete shock to everyone who had watched him fight so hard to turn his life around.
Because if I slip and fall, I can get seriously hurt.
No one knew why James would do something like that. That was until early 2020, when his family came forward and blamed his appearance on My 600 Pound Life for his untimely death. According
How? You gotta have something substantial to back that up. That's a big claim, and they got a lot of lawyers. I mean, it may have played a factor, but his decision to do that himself, like, usually if you make that claim that, like, oh, well, this drove him to do that to himself, and you're going to hold someone responsible for their decision to game over themselves, then you have to have something like a suicide note saying that they, you know, them directly blaming a thing and being like, I can't deal with X thing anymore. You drove me to this, and I want the world to know this. I'm sending a message on my way out the door kind of thing. And if they don't have that, good luck, man. Xbox doesn't make games anymore, though. Sure they do. Sure they do. They have a lot of developers under their belt now, though. It's not like just Game Pass. It's not like just Xbox. Like, they've got the Coalition that makes Gears of War. They've got Bethesda that makes Elder Scrolls and Fallout. What? I don't know where my bullets are going. Jesus fuck. Yeah, they make Forza, they make Halo, they make Gears of War, they make they own Blizzard, so they've got Call of Duty, they've got Diablo, they've got Overwatch, they own Bethesda, so they've got Starfield, they got Fallout, they got Elder Scrolls. Those are all things that they make now. Those are all Xbox games. There is no Xbox Games Studios now. Is just a publisher. They don't actually make games themselves, if that's what you mean. Oh, fuck.
to them, James reached out to one of the show's production assistants with it.
According to My 600 Pound Life lawsuit itself, L.B. Boner, I'm sure it's like Bonner, right? Okay. Had been in noticeable distress for several months before his game overing. Boner, which is what I'm calling him now, who became an instant fan favorite with his season 6 appearance on the show, reached out to one of the show's production assistants, telling her in text messages things like, I am a fucked up wreck. I'm not in a good place right now and it's dark. And I had a breakdown. The assistant told him to fake it till you make it. I mean, they definitely should have got him the mental health that they needed, but it's still going to be hard to prove that, like, the show is the direct cause of his death.
Their struggles, sending her messages like, I am a effed up wreck right now. I'm not in a good place right now. It's dark. And I had a breakdown. But instead of taking his mental health struggles more seriously, the production assistant allegedly replied with, fake it till you make it, completely dismissing the challenges he was facing, which should never have been the case, as his dark thoughts were visible even during the show's production.
There's days where I feel so worthless, I think. I'd be better off in the ground.
To make matters worse, his family alleged that he was drowning in debt as well, since the show's
Furthermore, my 600-pound life lawsuit family says that LB was offered only one therapy session. Was offered only one therapy session with extra sessions only to come on an intermediate as needed basis. And in one of the lawsuit's more stressful allegations, Megalomedia, oh my God, that is a terrible name to attach to that lawsuit, did not pay for all charges associated with his surgery despite promising to do so. The result was bill collectors harassing him for payment and impairing his credit. Now there you have some merit for an actual like lawsuit and shit. Really? Are we doing the old school like hump the face when we get the kill thing to be a dick? I was kind of hoping that, that wouldn't show up until after the beta, but good to see not a damn thing's changed in Gears of War. Jesus fucking Christ. He's reaching out to the fucking production assistant instead of a mental health professional. Well, to be fair, that's who he's supposed to reach out to, because they're supposed to be covering the cost of everything associated with this. And if they told him that they would cover that, if they are offering mental health as part of it, and they tell him they're going to cover it, they are the people he should be reaching out to. And they are responsible if they told him they would cover that and then didn't. So he's got some claim there, but it all depends on like the contract he signs when he does this, the contract or the waiver or whatever. Like I would need to see that and see exactly what he's agreeing to. Like all of this is fine, but if he doesn't show that, then you're just kind of going off his side of the story and then a PR statement, because the company, when they give a PR statement, even if they are responsible, if they don't legally have to claim that responsibility, they're not going to. So the only way to know for sure is to just see the fucking paperwork.
Producers failed to cover the medical expenses they promised they would. His family also took things a step further and filed a $1 million lawsuit against the show's parent company, Megalomedia. If the things they alleged were completely actually true, this should have been a quick and easy victory. However, that's where things took an unexpected turn. You see, while James's family was the first to take legal action against Megalomedia, they were far from the last. Soon after this, other participants, some of which we talked about earlier, also started filing lawsuits against the company for alleged mistreatment, lack of mental health facilities, and failure to pay previously promised medical.
The power weapons are not respawning. That's really annoying. I remember them having a respawn, so you could get them through multiple times throughout the round. Now it doesn't feel like they're respawning at all. I have not seen that boom shot come back this entire match. Sorry, I'll go back to the content. I'm just annoyed by this. I'm kind of evaluating the remake of one of my favorite games and getting annoyed by it.
Bills. It wasn't long before Megalomedia was facing lawsuits from 10 different participants. However, instead of the love and support you'd expect these individuals to receive, the online community largely turned against them for being ungrateful. As one person in response to David Bolton's lawsuit about unpaid medical bills wrote, he costs of medical treatment covered by the show and claims they made it more stressful. Dude would have died without the show, but hey, that's nothing to compare to wanting money, right? Similarly, Jeannie Covey faced backlash, proclaiming the show should have stopped production after her father's death. After all, she signed the contracts willingly, and it wasn't as if the producers forced her to stick with the weight loss plan in the months that followed. With one comment on YouTube writing, "Right from the start, she had a huge chip on her shoulder. She was a victim, a special case. Nobody understood her. Her gomless mum was serving up meals big enough for 6 people, but neither of them, quote, realized they were breaking the diet." Jeannie turned this into a battle between herself and Dr. Now, because she couldn't take responsibility for herself and buckled down to dieting. And these weren't the only examples. People had seen many of the contestants that filed a suit act entitled and prideful on the show. This gave them a reason to question.
Yeah, their behavior is going to make it hard for them to win those lawsuits, and especially going to make it hard for them to garner any sympathy. It's hard to have sympathy for these people like as it is, because the way that they act. There, see, if I remember to aim to the left, I can get the kills. So it still works. The hip firing still works. It's just I have to remember how to aim it. But anyway, yeah, like they already don't get sympathy because of the way that they act. And that's kind of the point of the show, is you bring on those people who are morbidly obese, and they're that way partially because of, I'd say mostly because of their own actions, choices, and attitudes. because no one wants to see someone on TV that's morbidly obese because they have a health problem, they have a thyroid problem or whatever, and they're actually trying and they just need help. That's a feel-good kind of show, but people want to see the freak shows. People want to see, like, that's what makes it reality television, is they want to see the people who are there because they're making the worst possible choices with their diet and then blaming the rest of the world for their decisions. Like, people like to see people get a reality check. Like, that's what they're there for. They're there to yell at the TV and to yell at these people, not to cheer them on. Most people, unfortunately, are not cheering them on as much as the show would like to have you believe, or the comments or the internet would like to have you believe. Most people are there to point and laugh at them.
And challenge the criticisms these participants raised against the production, with one comment scrutinizing the claims made by James's family following his death, reading, "I think LB's family is just looking to cope with his blank." Which, yes, very tragic, but the weight loss was probably the only happiness he's had in recent years. I think he most likely was suffering in a much deeper way. He worked the program and seemed happy with the results. I think his case will turn out to be a case of some kind of tragic blank in childhood that he was never able to work through. His family needs to put their grief where it belongs, instead of latching onto an easy excuse for blank, because there are no easy answers. One person with alleged onset experience also suggested that Megalomedia was likely meticulous with the contracts contestants were required to sign, implying that the lawsuits filed against the company likely won't last long. And that's exactly what happened on the 14th of April 2022.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of these, like, the problem is, like, if you're suing them, they not only look at the paperwork, but the judge is going to look at the show. And yeah, it's a reality show. The judge is going to look at your actions on the show, because this is a reality show, and the things you said on the show, and they're going to be like, well, you weren't doing the things you were supposed to be doing. You weren't fulfilling your part. Because remember, what you signed is a legal contract, and they're going to look at that and go, you weren't fulfilling your part of the contract. So I don't think like any of these lawsuits are going to go anywhere, if I'm being honest.
When a Texas court dismissed all the lawsuits in one fell swoop. Now, while the lawsuits were largely dismissed because of the airtight contracts, that doesn't mean the claims were entirely baseless. But unless a future lawsuit moves forward and prevails, there's no way to confirm their validity at this point. That said, there are still plenty of questionable things about My 600-Pound Life that continue to cast a shadow over its legacy, like the humiliating shower scene that's shown while. Why do the cast members even agree to do these extremely embarrassing scenes in the first place? For a while, there was a rumor floating around on the internet that participants were paid over $1,000 for that scene alone, which was almost as much.
Yeah, and they get paid a lot of money to do that scene, so they're encouraged to do it. I mean, I would argue those scenes are good. You can argue that they're exploitative and that they're embarrassing. I mean, embarrassing is kind of the point. You want them to have that dose of reality. That's the whole point in the scene, is that they get that dose of reality.
As they received for a full episode. However, Angie J, who was on the show at one point, clarified this on Reddit, and according to her, there is no extra pay for it. But the shower scene is pretty much mandatory as part of showing the participants' daily life. In other words, anyone hoping to appear on the show and receive help must first agree to that scene, even if it comes at the cost of their dignity. But that's not even the end of it.
It's supposed to come at the cost of your dignity. If you're not happy with the way you look, that's the point. They're supposed to be showing people the reality of what it's like to be 600 pounds. That's the reality. Looking at your body and having to live with that body is the reality. It's a harsh reality. It's an embarrassing pill to swallow, but it is what it is. You're agreeing to do a reality show, to show people the inner workings of your life. What your body looks like, the entire purpose of the show being about you being 600 pounds, the show is about your goddamn body. You're going to have to show it. I'm sorry, you're just going to have to. That's just like, stop with this fucking beauty at all side fucking sympathy bullshit. Stop this. You want to see the reality of it? This is it. You have to show it. Sorry, you just do.
Because on top of all the shady stuff that's allegedly going on behind the
Oh my God.
scenes, there are some serious
How did that not one
issues with
shot?
what the show actually chooses to put
did
on
that not one
camera,
shot?
and nothing highlights this better than Dr. Mike's reaction to one of the show's episodes on his channel, where he raised concerns from the moment Dr. Now began his procedure.
And you have responsibility to your kids. So from this point on, we are going to make changes in your eating
Final.
habit.
This is a very old school way of doctoring where you tell a patient that you have children, you need to do better for
I
them,
am so out
and you
of.
try and lecture a patient. But in most
Where the fuck was that guy? Could we not have added kill cams? Okay. I finally got my hands on the sniper rifle and it's so out of practice with I completely missed. God, that used to be my weapon back in the day.
instances, the way that you get a patient to where they want to be is by asking them the questions and getting them to a place where they say, I need to do this for my kids. Just the fact that they vocalized it rather than you did will already go further in their success.
It's true.
This was followed by Dr. Now outlining the
Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink kind of thing. They have to want it. Like, they just have to want it. So you have to know what their motivations are to know that they're there for the right reasons and that they want it. If they're there for fame, then they don't care. Then they don't actually care about getting skinny. If they're like losing the weight, if they're there for the clout, if they're there for the exposure, if they're there for a paycheck, if they're there for any reason other than, you know, I want to lose the weight, then they're there for the wrong reason. I'll agree with that. The grimace. It's hard to have dignity when you're built like the grimace. Yeah. Well, that's the point. Is a lot of them become delusional because they don't deal with the reality of what they look like. And they get that reality when they go out in public. But that's why the terminally online, you know, Discord mod meme exists, is because they don't go out, they just stop going out in public. They just stop dealing with the fucking loss of dignity and they stay home and now they can be online where no one has to look at them and I get treated better online. Yeah, because no one has to look at you. They'll have these profiles that don't use their real picture and then they'll, you know, go talk shit on the internet and that becomes their life. They become terminally online. And that's so they don't have to deal with the reality of what they look like. So they become delusional. They get this false, you know, sense of confidence that's not real because the minute they go back out into the real world, they're reminded of what they look like, and then all that dignity and confidence is gone, which means the confidence wasn't real. You're not really happy with the way you look. You're happy with the way the internet treats you on the internet. Can I get him with the Lancer? Yes, I can. Finally. My first Lancer kill. Woo! Discord mod syndrome. Yeah, I mean, it's a meme for a reason, but that's the reason, is because they don't want to have to deal with what they look like. I have no problem dealing with what I look like. Am I happy with what I look like? Do I like being a skinny fuck? No. No, I don't. I absolutely hate this. But I'm fine with what I look like. I don't hide myself. I'm one of the few, like, commentary channels that's gonna do fucking internet commentary with a face cam on. Most of them will hide behind a fucking PNG avatar or have no face cam at all. I am one of the few that's going to show my face. I'm fine with the way I look. I'm not fine with the way I feel because of it. Like, I have been obsessively going to the gym and working out again for the last 2 days since I passed out due to heat exhaustion. Well, I guess dehydration. It's not a heat stroke, it's heat exhaustion. Once I got liquid in me, I was fine. Like, it took all of 10 minutes for me to recover, which shocked everyone there. They were ready to take me to the nurse's office, call an ambulance, and I was on my feet again in 10 minutes, and I felt fine. Like, my vision returned, my limbs, like, I was no longer numb. Like, my body recovered quickly because it processes things quickly. But the problem is I don't store energy. I don't store fat. I have, like, 0% body fat or, like, 0 point something. We're both doing the same thing. This is ridiculous. Like, it's just both of us are circling each other and our guns are pointed at each other and we're pulling the trigger and neither one of us is hitting the other one. Oh my God, this is so terrible. This is so terrible. How did you fuck this up? Just make the bullets go in front of the gun. How fucking hard is that? How fucking hard is that? I don't care that it's an over-the-shoulder one. Stop. tying the bullet trajectory to the camera. Tie it to the character. How is this not a thing? Sorry, okay, I had to crash out over that for a minute, because that was like, you could put the Benny Hill music to me and that guy circling each other and firing 2 feet away from each other, and neither one of us could hit the other one. And that's why. Holy shit. That just displayed my entire argument perfectly. It's not a me problem. The other guy was having trouble too. Both of us are circling each other 3 feet apart, and we can't shoot each other. You've created stormtrooper aim in Gears. How? How did you fuck this up?
The participants' dietary plan, which Dr. Mike also found somewhat concerning.
To stick with the diet and eat only 3 times a day and no snacking. This will be a 1,200 calorie a day diet.
I don't know how they expect her to go from eating what she's eating to a 1,200 calorie diet 3 times a day. I just feel like
You have to step down. It's like getting someone off drugs. It is an addiction. It's like getting someone off an addiction. You can't take someone with a fucking fentanyl addiction and get them to stop. I don't even know where the bullets went on that one. Both of them were lined up. One was in front of me, one was to the right. I pulled the trigger, neither one of them died. Sometimes I just feel like it's not registering shots. I don't know what happened. I'm going to stop complaining about the game. I'm turning my brain off now. This is, I can't take this seriously anymore. But anyway, yeah, you have to step them down slowly. If you just took someone with a fentanyl addiction and just took away their fentanyl, cold turkey, they're going to go into withdrawals. They might actually die from not having it. You have to lower their dosage until you wean them off of it. And it's the same thing with these fat fucks. You can't just take them from like a 6,000 to 8,000 calorie a day diet and go, well, the average person only has a 2,000 calorie a day diet, so we're going to take you back to 2,000 calories. And like take away a third of their body's like normal intake of calories overnight. Their body's going to go into shock. Like they might go into a diabetic shock. Like you have to, you can't just do that. That's not the way it works.
like you're setting up a person for failure on that. She's gonna have massive cravings, especially with the difficulties of her job. It's gonna make her sad. It's gonna make her uncomfortable.
And
yeah, not to mention the mental aspect of it. But I'd also be like, hey, they could go into a diabetic shock. If they're diabetic, they could go into some other kind of, like, yeah, there's also physical reasons to not do that.
Dr. Now's plan for incorporating exercise into the participants' routine wasn't much better either.
Your ability to do exercise and walk.
And you want her to exercise and walk with 1,200 calories? I mean, it's just completely unreasonable.
I really don't do a lot of walking.
Or how much you can walk before you feel tired and give up.
Maybe like from here to your waiting room.
She should really be working with a nutritionist to figure out what she's already consuming and make changes from there, as opposed to getting a cookie cutter 1,200 calorie recommendation and telling her to exercise when she's never exercised before. It's just gonna be a major shock to the system.
Yeah, that's how I ended up going to a doctor first to talk about mine, because I did see a nutritionist at one point. And they were like, okay, the average person has a 2,000 calorie a day diet. That's what all nutrition facts are based on. If you want to gain weight, you should be doing double that. Let's start you off at 4,000 calories and see how your body takes it and go from there. And I did that. I switched up to 4,000 calories. I'd eat meals, and instead of a drink with every meal, I'd drink a shake with every meal, like a weight gainer shake or a whey protein shake that had a shitload of calories in it. So then I'm getting 2,000 extra calories a day just in drinking those shakes. Sometimes I'd eat extra meals. The problem is, my body, I would just frequently get diarrhea. Like my body would just expel all of the excess. I don't know what happened. I don't know where the bullets are going. But my body would just expel the excess. It wouldn't store it. And then the nutritionist is like, you need to see an actual doctor. They're like, you're doing everything you should be doing. Your body isn't just but your body's not reacting to it the way it should. So no advice I can give you is going to take if your body is just refusing to store fat. Like, you need to go see a doctor. And then I went to see a doctor, and that's when they told me, yeah, like, there's no pills, there's no nothing for this. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe work out more, maybe strain your body so that it's forced to do it. Yeah, like, I've tried everything they tell me to do, but there's no, like, magic pill I can take to get that. Damn.
I think even the most well-intentioned patient is going to struggle with that.
Even the way Dr. Now, quote, approved the surgery didn't sit right with Dr. Mike.
I'm beginning to think it just has a problem with hit registration, which was a problem back in the day too, but it's just, it seems worse now because of the aim into the right thing, or aim into the left of the person thing. Because that guy was right in my face. He was to the left of the gun. The bullets hit. I saw blood. He didn't die. I couldn't one-shot him, but he could one-shot me. I don't know, man.
You're making good progress, and I think you're gonna be a good candidate for.
Yeah, the weight gainer shakes are hard to put down too, and I'd make them with milk, not water, to add extra calories. I even at one point put like ice cream in them, like anything to add calories to them, because I needed the calories, not the protein. So I was doing all that shit. Didn't work. None of it worked. Just gave me mud butt. Just gave me mud butt.
Weight loss surgery, okay? But you still have a BMI close to 100. So I'm gonna send you to the hospital so we can run some tests on you, make sure you are safe for anesthesia. If all those tests are good,
Dude.
I'll approve you
Dude, where are my bullets going?
for surgery.
I hate that he says it as if like he needs to approve. We'll send you to the hospital for some special tests to make sure it's
Look at this. Every shotgun fight is like that, where they're just sidestepping each other back and forth and no one's hitting anybody. Or like one or two pellets are hitting.
safe for you to go for the surgery. Not for me to decide if it's safe. You're not deciding. The tests are deciding whether or not it's safe for the patient. It's in their best interest. It's not you gatekeeping it.
So,
You've never heard the phrase mud butt before? Well, there you go. I gave you a new one. It's a classic, man. That's an old school way to describe the diarrhea. Oh, you got the mud butt.
while Dr. Now is known for being stern yet patient with participants, there's still room for improvement when it comes to his overall approach and methodology, which he still has plenty of time to do, since the show isn't going anywhere. While its viewership has been on the decline since 2021, it's still popular enough to warrant new seasons, even 13 years after it first aired on TV. The only way it might truly fall out of favor is if major revelations surface about the alleged abuse, exploitation, and neglect going on behind the scenes, which, given the 10 dismissed lawsuits, seems highly unlikely. My 600
Okay, nope, I don't need to restart it. All right, so that's the end of that one. I don't think any of these lawsuits are going to go anywhere. I mean, this show has been on for quite a while. It's been sued multiple times. Like these people, it sounds like whatever contracts they get. I was hoping he'd show one of the contracts so we know exactly what these people are signing up for to find out if there's any merit to their claims, because they definitely agree to certain behaviors and to do certain things. And if you go to sue them, you have to have proof that you're doing all of those things. And the problem is they have all the television footage and all the documentary footage to show, and a doctor on camera telling you you're not doing the things I told you to do. So you're not participating in the program the way you contractually said that you would, and now you're blaming them. So I that's why I don't think any of the arguments go anywhere. So if you sign up for one of these shows, then you need to know what you're walking into. Like, you need to not only have a lawyer evaluate the contract to make sure that it's not dangerous for you, both physically and mentally, but you need to make sure that you are fucking mentally prepared. Physically, you just got to do what they tell you. But mentally, you need to be able to handle the road ahead. It's the same as signing up for like the military. Like, you need to know what you're signing up for. And that's why the military will give you a mental health evaluation to make sure that you're good for what you're signing up for, because it is going to be physically and mentally demanding. You can't, this isn't just some job you apply for. Like, this is it. Like, you need to be ready for this. All right, I'm going to try doing it like that. I'm going to try to get used to doing it like that, but I never had to do that before. I'm going to play a little bit of this and then we'll move on to the next piece of content.